Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Bonjour and welcome to this week's episode, How to Say No the French Way with Grace. So today I want to share with you about how to say no, because so many of us do not know how to say no well, me being included at times, right? So I want to just call myself out on that right away. But I have learned some tips and some tricks over the years because the French are really, really good at saying no. And when you get told no a lot, I used to get really irritated. My husband included, very good. He's French, really good at saying no. But living in France, being around the French, I really learned not to take it personally. And I actually learned from them how to say no with grace. So today in this episode, I wanted to share some tips with you on what that could look like. So I think it starts with boundaries and having a real respect for what you want and what you desire in your life and putting yourself first in your life around that. And when you have these bold boundaries and you have these boundaries in this red velvet rope policy in your life, it's essential to living this beautiful, unleashed life full of pleasure and joy. And when you say no, it's really saying no to things that do not please you, that do not bring you pleasure or joy, that do not serve you, so that way you can open yourself up and make room for the things that you want to say yes to in your life. Because when you say no to something, you're really saying yes to something that's better. And so many of us don't authentically say no. We don't know how to say no. And so many of us actually say yes to things we really want to say no to, but we don't know how to say no. And so I'm pretty bold for my life now, and I have pretty strong boundaries because I've really invested in practicing that. And I'm very honest when I do that with people and either a situation or somebody. And there are times that I will say yes when I really don't want to do something, but I make sure I'm very clear on my decision and the decision after the decision that I'm okay with doing that, because maybe I don't truly want to, but I know that it really is going to help somebody or it benefits them and it will bring me joy in doing that, and maybe in whatever that situation is. But when you really possess having powerful boundaries, do not be afraid to make those boundaries known to people. And you don't have, and there's a way that you can do that with grace. And if somebody's actually intruding on those boundaries, you don't have to hold back. You can let them know that it's not okay. Or, things that, think things will be okay even later. If you act on it, remind others straight away when they're crossing a boundary that you have your boundaries, because they're just being themselves. They're not doing anything wrong, but you might not want to do something, right? So as a high value woman, and I really want to stress this, we high value women know, we do the hard things. We have to say no. We have to have boundaries. And when you get better at that, when you get good at that, saying no becomes a lot easier because you have some little tips and tricks up your sleeve, which I'm going to give you some tips on in a few minutes. But you can thank people and you can offer them, you can thank them with grace, and you can offer them politely, and you can politely decline, and you can offer some alternatives to them if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But really get comfortable saying no without having guilt. It's a practice. It's like building a muscle. You just don't do it overnight. You practice it, you practice it, you practice it. And, you have a really full, busy life. And for you to say yes to the things that you want in life, you have to have the ability to say no to the things that you don't want in life. So getting really clear on that. So I want to offer you some tips and some guidance on how to do that. So number one is, and again, these are certain things and certain ways of how you can say no. And so I wrote those down because I want to make sure that I don't forget anything, because I have several of them I want to share with you. So the first one is, when somebody asks you something and you don't want to say yes, you can say no. You can say thank you, but I won't be able to ... Or thank you, but I just won't be able to. And leave it alone. It's as simple as that. So that's the first one. The second one is, I'm really honored. Thank you so much, but I really can't right now. Or I can't. And you don't have to go on and explain and offer an explanation as to why. Actually, it's none of their business. It's nobody's business. You don't have to apologize, and explain your life away. You just get to say no, and you can do it politely with grace. How simple is that? These first two tips that I gave you. Third tip. Thank you, but right now is just not a good time. Period. End of story. Fourth tip. Thank you, but I'm just not able to, but maybe next time. Period. End of story. See, these aren't so hard. And I'll repeat these again one more time. So if you want to grab your pen and paper, please do so. Another one is, oh my gosh, I need to be cloned. So I'm just going to have to pass on this right now. And they'll get the message. That's simple. Another one is, thank you, but I'll just need to consider it the next time. How simple is that? Okay, and the last tip that I have. Unfortunately, I can't commit to this right now, but thank you for your understanding. Done. That's simple. So I'm going to repeat these, okay? 7 tips of how to say no like the French. Number 1, thank you, but I won't be able to. Period. End of story. Number 2, I'm honored, but I can't. I'm honored, but I just can't right now. 3, thank you, but right now is just not a good time for me. Or right now, thank you, but it's just not a good time right now. Number 4, thank you, but I'm not able to right now, but perhaps next time. Number 5, I just need to be cloned. Thank you anyways. Number 6, thank you, but I'll just need to consider this the next time. And then the last one again is, unfortunately, I just can't commit to this right now. Thank you so much for your understanding. So there you have it. Pretty easy peasy, but again, putting it into action a little bit harder. And it's going to take some time and practice, but please use these. And there's many others. Feel what feels right for you to go out and say no with grace, like the French taught me. So until next time. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.